There's quite a bit about Nestle and then formula in this vid. Very good, the evil business of Nestle.
Rabbit advertised diarrhea powder. But what you probably don't know is that Nestlé is the largest food company in the world.
Nestlé.
I use the term food lightly as their products mostly consist of powdered and processed food-style tribute acts to the real thing. For reasons unrelated to that though, some people on the internet think Nestlé is worse than Hitler, Hiroshima and hangnails combined. But why? Let's find out. Nestlé began life in Switzerland in 1867.
Sus. Automatically. Immediately. Sus. Nope. That's where it starts and ends, okay? Switzerland company? No thanks. Nope. Not for me. Thanks. I'm good on that.
When Henry Nestlé was one of the first people to produce milk-based baby formula, a vital, life-saving product for babies who, for whatever reason, couldn't breastfeed naturally. 150 years and over 2,000 brands and corporate acquisitions later, dried udder squirt is still one of Nestlé's biggest moneymakers. The formula industry's market value is projected to reach $119 billion by 2025. And even better than that, companies make 23 cents for every dollar they make in sales. It's a very profitable commodity, which is crazy because it is just dried milk with some vegetable oils and sugars, and what's more, it's crap. Every medical professional will tell you that formula is vastly inferior compared to Mum's old-fashioned,
except not in America, by the way,
own brand. Unless, of course, that medical professional is being paid by Nestlé. In the 1970s, Nestlé was expanding its...
That's not completely true. Okay, I know this is a very touchy subject, and one to have in America, one to have especially in America is like not great, and one to have especially in America in a hyper woke community is the worst idea, because immediately you think, well, it's giving ableism sweaty. You know, what about the women that can't breastfeed or whatever the... However, as far as I understand, at least according to the international medical community, breastfeeding, especially given the opportunity to breastfeed if you are able to do so, is overall a preferable substitute to baby formula. But even then, you're throwing mad Nesquik savior vibes right now, I guess. Really shouldn't be a touchy in a community that's 80% male, but here we are. But it doesn't matter because in America, breastfeeding is not as... I mean, baby formula is significantly more common here than other places. And I'm also not even stating that like just breastfeed lol, like in an effort to like, I'm not, that's not my counter. As a current baby, I prefer breast milk, thank you.
Formula market globally, but it ran into a problem, or rather two big problems. The humble breast was Nestlé's biggest, bounciest competitor, so they did what any multinational conglomerate would do and began undermining this
is the greatest video of all time already.
Basic and necessary human function. Nestlé launched an aggressive global marketing campaign which encouraged mothers to swap the breast for the bottle. But what was more morally dubious was that Nestlé were paying medical professionals to promote their powder. In Asia and Africa, Nestlé hired a legion of saleswomen to dress up as nurses and give out free medical advice as well as free samples of their product. Nestlé's fake nurses gave out free samples that lasted just long enough for mothers to stop being able to produce milk naturally, making them dependent on Nestlé's expensive product in order to, you know, keep their child alive. They did this through home visits and even on maternity wards. Nestlé's uniformed pushers were slinging more powder than Pablo Escobar. They would also suggest that their artificial...
For the record, I love when chat is like, yeah, you're wrong about this, except here are the number of health organizations that consider breast milk to be a better alternative to formula. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Medical Association, the World Health Organization. They all recommend breastfeeding as the best choice for babies. Breastfeeding helps defend against infections, prevent allergies, and protect against a number of chronic conditions. Now, of course, there are obviously instances outside of that where like the alternative or supplement, or at the very least the alternative of baby formula can be helpful with additional vitamins that you might not be able to get from just the titty, straight titty. But just remember that no matter what you have heard thus far, those institutions do believe that. Even the CDC says breastfeeding is better. They're saying that mothers can and should choose what is best for them and their realities, but as a policy, it's better as a country to encourage and incentivize breastfeeding. Yes, unless you're the United States of America, in which case you have companies' interest and bottom lines that you need to bottom line that you need to defend.
The official product was better than the real thing, which wasn't just weapons-grade bollocks, it was also extremely dangerous. Breast milk contains very important sciencey stuff that helps prevent pneumonia, infection.
Also, here, I'll give you a little bit more. It fights infections and other conditions, along with many other benefits of breastfeeding. Breastfed babies have fewer infections and hospitalizations than formula-fed infants. During breastfeeding, antibodies and other germ-fighting factors pass from the mother to her baby and strengthen the immune system. This helps lower a baby's chance of getting many infections, including, but not limited to, ear infections, diarrhea, respiratory infections, and meningitis. Breastfeeding may also protect babies against allergies, asthma, diabetes, obesity, sudden infant death syndrome, also known as SIDS. Breastfeeding is also particularly beneficial for premature babies.
And malnutrition, which are much higher risks in countries that don't have regular access to clean water, i.e. all the countries that Nestlé was sending their nurses to. As bad PR headlines go, dead babies is pretty much unbeatable unless it's preceded by the phrase, a gigantic pile of. And that's exactly what Nestlé and other formula companies were contributing to. Naturally, people got real mad about this. Protests and boycotts, one notably ran by War on Want, really got people worked up. Nestlé's upper management was even brought before a US Senate hearing to account for the multiple, dead kids.
Well, what do you feel is your corporate responsibility to find out the extent of the use of your product in those circumstances in the developing part of the world? Do you feel that you have any responsibility?
We can't have that responsibility.
I'm clipping this and going on Twitter to say you want to encourage breastfeeding so you get to see more titties in public. Based on QRTs on your post, it's going to be a hit. Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, you're going to get I'm going to be honest, if all the anime avatar, DNI plus 18 anime avatar neurodivergent Twitter, if any of them actually were able to drum up the courage to defeat their agoraphobia, I would have been dead a million times over. The only thing that is preventing me from being murdered is the fact that every single person that tells me that I deserve to be murdered is too much of a coward to leave their house. Straight up. Thank God for that. As long as outside is scary, it's not safe. A little bit, yes. Why do you say stuff like that? Have you seen the things that people say to me on Twitter in particular? It just go through literally a single. I could literally be touching grass is a wonderful experience. And motherfuckers would be you need to be murdered for that take. Here are your coordinates. Please, someone murder this guy.
Sir, I miss.
Now you know how Jordan Peterson feels fat shaming on the timeline? Yeah. Well, it's usually not. The thing is, it's usually not me saying anything as bad as Jordan Peterson is saying on a regular basis. It's usually just something I did that is otherwise innocuous, but that people decided to be angry over. Or something that targeted a fandom and made people very frustrated. For example, when I said it should be illegal to make movies longer than 3 hours, which is very clearly a comment made in jest that people take seriously and want to kill me over. Or what I said about the Met Gala, when I said that the Met Gala is particularly tasteless on this year. And people literally were I agree with you, but I still want to kill you. I want to murder you. I have the murderous intent and rage.
In the developing part of the world, do you feel that you have any responsibility?
We can't have that responsibility, sir. I missed the part where that's my problem.
But in 1981, the World Health Organization made it Nestlé's problem by passing the International Code of Marketing Breast Milk Substitutes, better known in the community just as the Code. Ooh. These guidelines were pushed on Nestlé and other formula companies, and that's why subsequent commercials have to feature these little pro-booby asides.
Make it gentle, easily digestible. No formula is more nutritious. Remember, breast milk is best.
Since this colossal dose of bad PR, Nestlé have done their best to waft away that dead baby smell. They even funded this pro-boob propaganda supergroup known as the Super Babies.
Yeah, Super
I had to watch a lot of these, so I'm inflicting them on you too.
This is a breastfeeding song for those who help our awesome moms.
MC Milkers and the Mammary Gang have been assaulting the eyes and ears of the global south since
I mean, every time I see shit like this, I'm like, okay, like abortion is necessary and should be encouraged.
2015. They don't sell any Nestlé products, but they do perform a useful function for the company. They're rolled out every breastfeeding week to promote the good things about breastfeeding and to brush under the carpet all the bad things about formula feeding. But it's been a while since Nestlé swept all those dead babies under the rug of corporate non-responsibility. It's not like they're still at it, right? Well, Nestlé are still at it. They've just gotten a bit sneakier. While formula sales have stalled in many countries, it is soaring in others, especially in Southeast Asia and the Pacific, which is coincidentally where Nestlé are focusing their marketing. Save the Children released an expansive report in 2018 detailing how Nestlé and other formula companies are still bribing healthcare workers, still giving out free samples in medical settings, and advertising in hospitals. Nestlé are breaking the law, but only in countries where they are likely to get away with it. Nestlé is also
Starting to think Nestlé is an evil company, says Good Morning Comrade Radio. I need to think that these Nestlé guys, you know, they don't have the best interests of the people in mind, I think. I agree.
the world's leading producer of plastic
weird.
bottles that they kindly fill with a free sample of tap water. But hey, what's wrong with that? You've got to stay hydrated, and have you tried carrying water around without a bottle? It's a hassle. Well, as with formula, Nestlé's main business strategy seems to be making you pay for things that you should already have for free. In 2005, Nestlé's former CEO got into some hot water over comments he made suggesting that access to the wet stuff wasn't a human right.
Die eine Anschauung, extrem würde ich sagen, wird von einigen von den NGOs vertreten, die darauf
Dude, this part is fire. My man is spitting, okay? NGO, okay, I'm just gonna read it out loud because there's like some people who are listening probably.
Right.
The one option, which I think is extreme, is represented by the NGOs. What's that extreme option, sir? The extreme NGOs who bang on about declaring water a public right. Oh, opinion. Sorry, not option. I apologize. He said these NGOs are so radical in their opinions where they declare water to be a human right. Now he says that means that as a human being, you should have a right to water. That's an extreme solution.
He rolled back those comments about half a decade later on Nestlé's official YouTube channel, where he suggested that humans did deserve water, but they would preferably buy it from him.
Let me make it clear from the beginning. I have always supported the human right to water.
Despite the mountain logos and the local springs mentioned in their brand names, Nestlé gets most of its water from the same place your bathroom faucet does: the ground. In North America, they tap into municipal water supplies, paying about $10 for every tanker of high-quality H2O. And once they wrap that water up in plastic, that $10 tanker is suddenly worth $50,000. Nestlé is pulling Belle Delphine scam on a global scale. They get such great deals on their water
Channel's
because
awesome.
they capture it from states like Maine and Texas, which operate under absolute capture laws, which say you can suck the ground empty provided you own the dirt on top of it. This has proved controversial with people who need that water to live, especially in states suffering from water shortages. In famously dry-mouthed California, there's no absolute capture allowances, but Nestlé were found to be drawing 54 million gallons more than their permit allowed, a permit that expired 2 decades ago. Is this Nestlé's fault though?
Yes!
I mean, on this one I'm not particularly convinced. The company might be sucking America drier than a chapped-lipped hooker at a Nevada truck stop, but the government's letting them do it. For the most part, they're not breaking the law. at least not in America. In 2013, in Pakistan, it was found that Nestlé were diverting free, clean water away from thousands of people who were forced to drink sludge water because they couldn't afford to have it sold back to them in bottled form. Yeah.
Actually, the value added by Nestlé bottling said drinkable water is immeasurable. And that it's actually technically charity what Nestlé is doing, okay? The free market wins again.
That's pretty bad. And when they're not stealing...
So, one of the things I'll say is this. What you see these gigantic multinational corporations engage in the third world is now happening in America as well. What do I mean by that? Because we have already sucked the third world dry of all of its juices, and because companies still want to improve their profit margins, they turn that sucking, sometimes literally in the case of Nestle, and other times figuratively in the case of every other capitalist parasitic corporation, they turn the sucky suck over to the American public. So that's why you see that. You see things getting worse and worse for Americans overall. Like, they don't even have a care for the safety, security, the humanity of their own fellow countrymen in the imperial core. And of course, a corporate oligopoly-led government that doesn't even protect its own citizens certainly has no care whatsoever for the citizens of other nations. Why do you say third world, not the developing world? Old school colloquialism. I use it interchangeably. Sometimes I just say it. I mean, it doesn't change the exploitation. Sanitizing language in and of itself is not going to, you know, take away from the message. People understand what I mean when I say both.
Water, they're polluting it. Just last month in France, a Nestlé-owned powdered milk factory farted a load of biological sludge into a river and killed over 3 metric tons of fish. You know your body count is getting out of control when you're measuring it in tons. Okay. The water and formula stuff is pretty dicey, but ultimately the reason I love Nestlé is their variety of confectionery products. And there's nothing wrong with them, right? Right?
The third world uses third world. Don't listen to chat. I mean, I know, but I'm in the third world. Who cares about whether you say third world? We know our countries are underdeveloped, and it's because of first world countries. Yeah. No, I love this guy. I did not know who this dude was. I don't think I've ever watched a video of his, but this guy's awesome. Oh, who could forget Nestle uses child slaves? That's crazy. Oh, we're moving on to the final stage of why Nestle is one of the grossest, but also one of the most normal multinational capitalist corporations on the planet, which is the famous who could forget Nestle uses child slaves. That's true.
Around the year 2000, Nestlé, Cadbury's and Mars got in some hot cocoa for using forced, trafficked and child labour to harvest cocoa beans for their chocolate brands. Speaking together as the Chocolate Manufacturers Association, later rebranded as the World Cocoa Foundation to sound more like an NGO and less like a trade group, these companies promised to do their darndest to make their chocolate slave-free by the year 2005. Well, they've missed that deadline and have missed every subsequent multi-year deadline they've set themselves since. Nestlé have been delaying the release of slave-free chocolate for longer than James Cameron's been working on those Smurf movie sequels. This all sounds really bad, so maybe we should just, like, hear them out.
Nestle does not use child slaves. They outsource child slavery. That's true. That's actually true. This is an important distinction. And the Supreme Court allowed it to continue happening in the United States of America. Not that they're using child slaves in the United States of America, but simply that, you know, as long as those child slaves are being outsourced to third-party corporations, then, oh, man, you can throw your hands to the side and go, oh, well, they subcontracted the child slavery. Oh, how could we have prevented it from happening? That's crazy. It totally happened. Not, you know, under our watchful gaze, okay? Fucking, dude, I am literally the murderer of flies, okay? Call me the Lord of Flies, baby, because I'm marking them, all right? Fly killer.
What are Nestlé doing about it? When you visit Nestlé's Coca Plan website, they are keen to point out that most of their unpaid child labour, not all of it mind, is done by children working on their parents' farm. Farmers who are too poor to send their kids to school and need help on the farm to make enough money to afford basic necessities.
Bro, that's my favorite. They're learning. Wait. What was it? Was it the Wall Street Journal or was it the Washington Post that posted that like child labor, or was it the Guardian? Who wrote that think piece about like child labor is good? Actually, there was an essay, and no, not from 1876, or no, this is 18. No, never mind. I thought this was like. There's 1876 words. That's not what I'm thinking of. Those aren't flies. They're my spy cam. Stop killing them. They're expensive. God damn it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yes! Yes! It was the Guardian! Global development is supported by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Child labor is exploitation, but the household work I did as a child gave me life skills. This article originally had a different... this article didn't have this original title. This title changed. This article... literally had the title back in the day when it first popped off. The title is here in the, you can see it in the hyperlink. Child labor doesn't have to be exploitation. It gave me life skills. That was the original title of the article. They had to change it because everyone was dunking on them. Child labor, and then it turned into child labor is exploitation, but the household work I did as a child gave me life skills. Ordinary things. This guy has basically an entire series dedicated to talking about how trash corpos, crypto, and all that ishar. Dude, I've been on the internet for so many years. And there are still motherfuckers I've never actually seen before that are making incredible videos, dude. I mean, this guy's awesome. Straight up. Yeah, here's the original article. Child labor doesn't have to be exploitation. It gave me life skills. Thank you. Chatter, do your thing. Wayback Machine, do your thing. Andrew Tate update.
Hello, everyone.
There's an Andrew Tate update. Okay, well, look at that. Dude, I don't know why we're watching so much Danny Gonzalez lately, but anyway, surprised that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have decided to support the article titled, Child Labor Doesn't Have to Be Exploitation. It Gave Me Life Skills. God, I fucking love... God. I mean... Matt Iglesias. Different places have different safety rules, and that's okay. That was another fire one. That's a pretty funny... That's a classic. Certified classic. Okay, let's finish off this...
food and clothes. Which is not the best argument when you're the pricks paying them. Bowing to public outcry and threats of boycott, Nestlé did do something about this in 2010. They took all the cocoa that they were super sure wasn't harvested by child slaves, took all of that and used it to make their flagship chocolate product, the Kit Kat bar. That way they could slap an independently verified fair trade sticker on it and be seen to be doing something about the problem they were causing. This label did not extend to most of their chocolate, or even to the vastly superior Kit Kat Chunky, which remained crunch-tacular with the severed limbs of trafficked children. But as of this year, they've decided to pack that in too. They have concluded their partnership with Fairtrade to focus on their new partnership with the Rainforest Alliance and work on sustainable cocoa farming. As in 2020, it's more fashionable to appear in...
Oh yeah, that's the other thing, because they also destroy rainforests. Oh my god. Dude, it's awesome.
Environmentally correct than ethically correct, and apparently, you can't do both. It's also much cheaper and more achievable. And this is just proof that Nestlé were never really worried about the whole slavery thing. They were just worried about what you, the chocolate buying public, thought about it. Nestlé are not a food company. They are a natural resource company with chocolate and cat food divisions. Their major strategy is depriving people of necessities and then selling them an expensive alternative.
Watch this guy's anti-communism video. Oh, he's an anti-communist? Oh no. Give me a break. Give me a break. I doubt it.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching this.
He is? No shot. He sounds like a disgusting little filthy commie to me. Or not commie, but at least like definitely significantly more to the left than the average person that you see on the internet for sure. I could totally see him being like a demsock or some shit. Yeah, he's kind of a weird lib def, not a commie. Wait, really? Oh yeah. But who cares? I don't care. He has great videos. I mean, this video was awesome. The Evil Business of China's Great Firewall. I mean, China's firewall is dog shit, so if he's criticizing that, that makes sense. He's into crypto and is kind of leftist. I thought he like shitted on crypto. You guys are giving me
They say the planet is just...
You're giving me conflicting attitudes about this person, and I also don't care. Because what have I always said, dude? Like, even if someone is like a deranged hater of mine, if they make good content, like, I don't give a shit. I'll watch it. I'll hype it up. I talk about this all the time. There are plenty of people who I disagree with on pretty much everything that I watch regardless if they're making good content, straight up. So it's not, no way, they have to be perfectly politically aligned with you in every way. Yeah, I don't care. I actually don't care at all. His anti-communist video is literally just that leftists on the internet annoying and lame, and the U.S. can't sustain real communism, and he believes in real-world improvements for people. Oh, then yeah, okay. Yeah, great. Ironic thing is you actually believe in meritocracy, unlike conservatives who claim to. What? No, I don't believe in meritocracy. I think meritocracy is a lie. I hope that meritocracy could be a real thing, but it's not. Internet historian's a straight chill, but I like his vids. Great example. Another good example. Okay. This is, I don't even know what's going on here. How the Pied Piper of the Dirtbag Left spends his days online. Felix allowed Vox to write an article on him? Oh no, he's going mainstream. All the Dirtbag Left is going to eat his ass in the QRTs, dude. Felix is roasting you on the timeline. He just walks around all day in these dumbass fucking outfits. They're a part of his body at this point. This was like 3 minutes after he woke up. Dude, that's the thing that's the thing I find to be really funny is that like people have like baby brain. Not roasting me. Shut the fuck up, idiot. That was a funny joke though. People have baby brains, okay? And part of the baby brain is thinking that like Johnny Depp is actually exactly the character that he plays in the movies. Like I always go around and like act like I click on the pause button. God damn it, dude. There's another fly. I'm killing them so much. And they keep coming back. You. Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.